Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Accountancy Services Direct podcast. My name's Enzo and I'm really pleased to be joined once again by our senior accountant, Andy Fairclough. How are you doing, Andy?
Not too bad, Enzo. How are you going?
Really good, thank you. Looking forward to the World Cup. I'm excited.
Oh, aren't we all?
Right, let's crack on straight into the questions. The first question is from one of our listeners, and the question is, I earned £10,000 in the last tax year and paid tax on all of it. Am I entitled to a tax rebate?
Well, right. There's two things going on here. One is, how does the individual know that they've been taxed on all of their income? Because generally we're only taxed on a portion of it over a particular tax-free allowance, personal allowance that we're all given. And then obviously if the individual is either employed or self-employed. If the individual is employed, then they should really ask their employer for their P60 and then contact their HM Revenue and Customs Tax Office. The employer can give them all the details for that and give them all the details from their P60, and then the revenue will look into whether you are due a tax rebate, and then they will either issue you a tax rebate or they will work it into your PAYE coding for the following tax year. If the individual is self-employed, then they should be filling a self-assessment tax return, and everything should be accounted for through that, and it should all come out in the wash, and they should get their tax rebate as they submit their tax return. But it sounds like it's more than likely that they're going to be employed, so they should really go down the route of talking to their employer and getting their P60 and contacting the revenue and getting the revenue to look at it for them.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for that. And just while we're talking about P60s, we also received another quick question from somebody asking, how do you get your P60 from last year?
Okay, right. Well, that's a pretty straightforward one. Anytime around now, your employers should be giving you your P60s. They should be completing their year-end bits and bobs in-house and issuing all of their employees with a P60. So if you haven't got it yet, then give it a week or so and then ask for it. If you have had it but seem to have mislaid it somewhere, then your employers will always keep copies. So just ask them and they should be able to produce you a new one.
Okay, fantastic. And just to clarify something, Andy, there, because a lot of our listeners don't maybe use our podcast as a point of reference. So you said we should be receiving our P60s now. Is that this specific month? We're in May, or? That's
in May, yeah. I mean, the deadline for employers to submit all of their year-end bits and bobs to the revenue is the 19th of May. So sometime back end of May, early June, once they've submitted everything to the revenue, and then they can produce all of their P60s after they've had everything accepted, and then they'll issue those to all their employees. So the back end of May is when you should tend to be receiving your P60 if you haven't already got it.
Fantastic, brilliant. Thanks for clearing that up for us.
No problem.
That brings us to the end of this episode. As always, if you've got an accountancy question or would like any further clarification, on what we've said today, please email us at info@accountancyservicesdirect.co.uk. Alternatively, you can call us on our free phone number, which is 0800 135 7463, or our other number, which is 0208 144 4634. Thanks again for joining us today, Andy.
No problem, Enzo.
Until next time, I'll speak to you then. Thanks, bye.
Thanks a lot.